When I'm on Amazon, I'm trying to decide if I should buy something. There are three things that I think through. Is it real? Like, is this thing actually what it says it is, or am I going to end up with a half-size version of it? What do the reviews say? And do I actually need it? Like, how is this going to make my life better? I think that's actually a pretty good formula for answering the question, why should I follow Jesus? Well, here are three reasons why you should. The first, he's real. For many, this is a major question they have. Are the things they say about Jesus true? Well, at the risk of really oversimplifying everything, it all hinges on one thing being true. Did Jesus die and then come back to life? Because if he did that, then everything he says becomes valid and everything he did has meaning. Any argument against following Jesus would be invalidated if he proved he was God. And that's just what he did. Now, there are whole books written on this topic, and so I can't really do it full justice in this short video, but here are a few quick pieces of evidence. And while we honestly can't have certainty, we can see it as more than likely based on the evidence. So if we put aside 2,000 years of people's personal experiences with Jesus, there's still historical reason to trust in the resurrection of Jesus and that it actually occurred. One, no one in history has ever been able to find Jesus' body, despite significant religious and political incentives to do so, especially those in Jesus' time. And while there's been many attempted explanations as for why the tomb was empty, they fail to stand up to further scrutiny. Two, there are more than 500 people who claim to have seen Jesus right after his resurrection. I mean, these people had no incentive to lie. They didn't get religious power. In fact, they were persecuted and killed for that belief. Three, and I think my personal favorite, is the change in Jesus' closest followers from before to after he died. I mean, Jesus' own brother didn't believe he was God until after the resurrection. Then he was willing to, and eventually was, killed for that belief. I think there's only one thing that would convince me that my brother was God. He'd have to die and come back to life. So we talked about if he's real. Next, what do the reviews say? Well, when you take the time to listen to the stories of those who've made a decision to follow Jesus, you'll hear story after story of life change. You'll hear stories of people overcoming addiction and loneliness. You'll find a consistent theme that people find what was missing in their life. They have a new hope and a purpose. And maybe the most common thing you'll hear is the way that the guilt and the shame of the past has been replaced by the knowledge that they are loved, forgiven, and that they matter. That's my story. My life completely changed when I realized that I mattered to God. And yeah, there are some bad reviews out there. But in my experience, I've never heard of someone having a bad experience because of Jesus, but instead, it was bad experience with other flawed followers of Jesus. Just like on Amazon, sometimes you get a bad review because of the packaging and delivery, while the actual product is great. And following Jesus really is great. Why? Well, following Jesus will make your life better. Now, I didn't say easier because it doesn't do that, but it does make your life better. Part of following Jesus is following and trusting his example for living life. And Jesus modeled a life of integrity. And when we follow his timeless wisdom, it improves our relationships, our treatment of others, and our overall well-being. Plus, when you follow Jesus, you have the confidence of knowing he's on your side. You're not alone, and you're never meant to be alone as you go through life. And maybe the greatest thing about following Jesus is the purpose he gives us. Jesus has a purpose and a meaning for every single one of us. And living into that purpose brings fulfillment and joy in a way nothing else really can. So why should you follow Jesus? Well, he's real. He's changed the lives of others, and he'll make your life better. If you're hearing this and you want to make the decision to follow Jesus, check out our video that walks you through how to make that decision, because that is a great next step on your faith journey.